Hello, artist Mrs. Dermody here, and in this lesson we are going to draw a gingerbread house. This is one that I drew. I've drawn a few of them, and we're going to use simple lines and shapes to create this drawing. And I'm going to take you step by step through the whole process. And then as we get going, you can make it your own and put the things where you want to put them. So I can't wait to see how you design yours, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. All right, let's get started.
Hello, artist. We are going to draw a gingerbread house in this lesson, and we are going to use simple lines and shapes to create our gingerbread house. And it's important that it is your gingerbread house and it doesn't look like mine. I'm going to show you some things to help you started, and then I hope that you use your own creativity to make it your own. So what you're going to need for this activity will be a pencil, a drawing utensil. I use an eraser just in case I want to erase any lines, and a piece of paper. I use crayons in this one, but I've used colored pencils or I've used markers or pastels or whatever you want to use for color. You could even paint it if you have those available to you. All right, and I also use a Sharpie in this lesson just to give my lines some bolder marks, but you do not need to use that. As we get started here, we are going to draw, hold your paper however you want, and I'm going to start with the line of the snow at the bottom. And I'm going to use a curved line for that. All right, so you can decide how thick or high you want your snow, and I kind of make it kind of curvy. And then I'm going to go and do the sides of the house, and I make them a diagonal and a little slanted to give it that kind of whimsical look of a gingerbread house. And just decide how wide you want your house to be. The next step, I find the edge of my house at the edge of the sides, and I come up to almost the top in the middle, and I slant those lines as well. I make those the diagonal lines to form the top of the house. Next, I'm going to do the door, and I'm going to start at the bottom of the house, and I'm going to go up maybe to the middle there and curve it like an upside down U. And then I'm going to repeat that shape in the middle of the door. I'm then going to find the bottom of the roof, and I'm going to make these curvy lines to form the icing or the snow that drips off a gingerbread house. And if you want, you can erase those lines as well. In the middle of the house, I'm going to repeat that U shape, that curved for the window. And then I'm going to start to work on the gumdrops. And I'm going to curve a shape just like that upside down U and round the bottom each time just to give it that curved rounded edge. And I'm going to repeat these shapes all along the edge of my roof. And you could make your gumdrops small, or you can make them a little bit larger if you wanted to. It is completely up to you. You could make some small, some big. You can use some variety. Whatever you want to do. All right, so I'm going to finish those up. And then the next thing that I am going to add to my whimsical gingerbread house will be the candy cane. And it's important that if you want to put those candy canes right in front of the house, like I did on this one, that is fine. but you could put them anywhere really. We start to get really creative. And how I made that shape is I made that upside down U, but I brought it down a little bit further. And then I added the curved lines on the candy cane. If they're curved, they make the candy cane look more rounded. So I'm going to add a few of those just around my drawing. Next, I'm going to add a lollipop, and these are kind of fun because I'm going to draw a diagonal line to kind of make it look like it's kind of slanted in the snow. And once I do that, I'm going to go up to the top, and just a little bit above, I'm going to start the spiral line out, and I'm going to make it as big as I want and then connect it into the circle. In the middle here, I'm going to add a peppermint candy, and those candies that look like those little spiral red shapes, and they're very minty. And so I drew a circle, and then I kind of curved some lines out from the center. I'm going to start adding some details, just some shapes, some circles to look like little pieces of candy that are stuck into it, and just add a lot of little ornamentation anywhere I want to. I'm going to go around the door here. Could do it on the side of the house. And could add some gumdrops in the front of the door to make a pathway. Maybe another candy cane. I'm going to draw a little rectangle on the top here and do some icing off just to give it a little chimney. All right, so I'm finishing up my gingerbread house. I'm adding some more detail, and then I'm going to go in with Sharpie, and then I'm going to start my coloring. As I'm finishing up my Sharpie and I'm going to go into my coloring, it's important that remember when we are coloring our gingerbread house that we use our best coloring, and take your time with it. Don't rush it. Coloring even with crayons can be a lot of fun because you can start to layer your coloring. My sky here, I'm going to go down with the blue, and then I'm going to start using maybe a purple over it just to give my color some more interesting dimension. So there's a lot we can do even with crayons. And when I color, I do like to kind of slow down on those little areas that when I get up against those gumdrops or the lollipop, I slow down, and then I use bigger strokes with my crayon. So have fun with it.